The bridge. In 2012, a user of the subreddit r/letsnotmeet posted a recollection that would disturb many of its readers and even inspire a sequel post. When this Reddit user and his friends, who resided in a beautiful but sparsely populated region of North Wales, ventured into the hollow structure of a railway bridge, they had no notion of what disturbing discoveries lay ahead. After acquiring the necessary tools to open a mysterious manhole cover situated close to the train tracks, the four boys descended into the pitch darkness. Finding themselves in a narrow, concrete space, the boys traversed the cramped interiors of the bridge with their flashlights lighting the way. Navigating the tunnels, some of which required the boys to crawl on their bellies, claustrophobia began to set in. Upon reaching a chamber built into the structure, the boys were met with a truly dread-inspiring scene. Emerging from the tunnel, they stumbled into a solitary folding chair, positioned facing a wall. Attached to the wall was a magazine page featuring a lurid image of a woman. Where her eyes had been were small, precise holes that had been cut from the page. Truly sickened, the boys felt a shared sense of unease, which was massively elevated by the discovery of bloody items on the floor. That was more than enough for the boys, who quickly made their exit, grazing and cutting themselves against the harsh concrete surfaces as they hurried back towards the ladder. Years later, when the story of the bridge was posted to Reddit, it disturbed many commenters, and this renewed interest prompted the original poster to return to the scene, this time with a camera. The resulting photos did not disappoint. The structure was as previously described, with pitch-black spaces, claustrophobic passageways, and bizarre and unsettling items found deeper into the dusty tunnels. First, a broken padlock. Next, a candle to provide light for whoever or whatever had been down there. A milk container with unidentifiable fluids inside, and further evidence that this scene had been inhabited since the boys' original visit. Further exploration revealed police crime scene tape, and in the main chamber, a knife. It is in this main chamber that the boys discovered more lurid magazine images, which had been defaced with cigarette burns. More magazine pages, scissors, food wrappers, and a large nail followed. And still there, the folding chair, positioned as it had been all those years ago. Their mission complete, the explorers made their way back through the tunnels and out into the daylight, where they were met by a glorious sunrise. Perhaps worthy of note is the fact that, since this Redditor's return to the bridge, his account has been deleted. Lake City Quiet Pills. One of the oldest and best-known Reddit mysteries, Lake City Quiet Pills has puzzled digital detectives for years. LCQP was an image hosting site, allegedly run by the Redditor Religion of Peace, also known as Milo. In some corners, the term quiet pills is known to be slang for bullets, prompting and supporting speculation that LakeCityQuietPills.com had some sinister underpinnings. In 2009, Milo, apparently a military veteran judging from his post history, was sharing his politically violent and frequently offensive opinions on internet forums, all whilst promoting the content of his website. Then, in July 2009, Milo abruptly stopped posting. 2 days later, a new poster, simply named 26, appeared and claimed to be Milo's hosting provider. Led by curiosity, some Redditors identified him as another user named Angel26, whose email address had been associated with the LCQP site. Further digging uncovered a user named Angel, presumably the same, who was searching for people that were fluent in specific languages and willing to deliver international packages. The clues led some Redditors to believe that the LCQP site was actually an assassin-for-hire service. Further clues pointed to a potential connection between LCQP and the high-profile political assassination of Hamas senior official Mahmoud al-Mabhouh in January 2010. However, this link was never conclusively proven. What followed was years of inactivity and little progress in the unearthing of the truth behind the LCQP mystery, until in 2018, a burner Reddit account by the name of Retirement Plan LCQP posted a request for investigations to cease that included an attempt to offer closure to the mystery. The one-off post stated that, whilst Milo and others had been involved in criminal activity, namely the organization of heists and smuggling operations, they were not involved in mercenary work. It's possible that there's some authenticity to these claims. However, with nothing concrete, Lake City Quiet Pills remains one of the internet's longest-standing unsolved mysteries. The sleep recording. When Reddit user RedWantsBlue80 began using the app Sleep as Android to improve their sleep, they thought the app would record the usual range of coughs, mumbles, and rustling bedclothes. They were wrong. On December 30th, 2013, at precisely 2:04 a.m., while this Redditor was asleep beside their 3-year-old who had climbed into their parents' bed out of fear of the dark, the sleep app recorded something truly bizarre. The recording, although crackly, features a clicking sound which grows increasingly loud until it is accompanied by 2 voices, one belonging to the Redditor and another deeper voice of unknown origin.
What are you doing? Okay.
When posting the audio to Reddit to get help in identifying the cause of the clicking and the source of the mysterious voice, RedWantsBlue80 shared their interpretation. Following the clicking, they seemed to ask, "What are you doing?" And the deep voice, certainly not that of a 3-year-old, coldly replies, "Nothing." As the clicks grow louder and more urgent, the mysterious voice speaks again, stating, "That's them." Reddit users by the names of Blackwater Project and Donnie Marco took it upon themselves to clean up the audio, improving the recording's clarity. In the enhanced recording, Reddit commenters have heard various statements, including "I'm Danny," "I'm dead," and "That's them." The original poster also hears their own name, Jenny, spoken by the stranger.
What are you doing? Okay.
Following recommendations from Redditors, RedWantsBlue80 improved their home security and changed their locks. They also walked through their home whilst requesting that whatever was in their house please leave, explaining that it was frightening them. Despite not having heard more voices since, they still report having been awoken by strange clicking sounds on a few occasions, which have no apparent origin. The Shed. When a Redditor by the name of Borakai111 was 19 years old, he worked for a short time as a laborer on a remote Australian farm. On one particularly sweltering day, he and his colleagues were given the afternoon off. The farmer, Jeremy, offered to drive Borakai to a swimming hole on his vast property, but on the way, they encountered something truly bizarre. In the barren landscape sat a large blue rectangular object, which had no apparent business being on Jeremy's farm. Baffled, they pulled over to inspect what was found to be a shipping container. Beside the container, a generator was running, and attached to the container were CCTV cameras, which ominously turned to follow them as they approached. After prying off a strangely small padlock and pushing open an outer door, the pair were met by a rush of cold air and the hum of numerous hard drives. The container was home to an assortment of sophisticated IT equipment. The walls were lined with hard drives, and multiple desks were equipped with monitors and office chairs. Despite Borakai feeling an overwhelming sense of unease, Jeremy was insistent that they investigate further. When trying to access the computers, they were met by digital reams of data, continuously being uploaded and downloaded, guided by some programming routine, or perhaps even an unseen person. Having made little sense of the computer's activities, Borakai began to investigate a pile of storage boxes at the far end of the container. Despite knowing they were alone, he was unsettled, and he was right to be. Within these plastic storage boxes, arranged, sorted, and meticulously ordered, were vast quantities of disturbing and lurid photographs, DVDs, and posters, neatly organized in folders and smaller boxes. Upon registering this horror, he turned and scrambled back out of the container, bringing Jeremy with him. They raced back towards the farm's landline, from which they called the police. Owing to the remoteness of this location, the police arrived some 2 hours later, and upon returning to the container, they found its door open, a fire raging inside. Without a source of water or the proper equipment, there was no way to extinguish the blaze, and by the time the fire department arrived, it was too late. The arson report pertaining to this incident found no evidence of computer equipment, just traces of paper and cardboard, suggesting that, in the time it took to summon the police and return to the container, whoever was responsible had managed to remove their technology, destroy any evidence, and make their escape. Allegedly, the burnt-out husk of the container still stands. The unfinished post. When Reddit user Killer Fishfinger discovered an odd photograph on his phone, which appeared to depict a pair of bright lights, in which he had no recollection of taking, he decided to ask Reddit's opinion in a post from late May of 2014 on the subreddit r/paranormal. The photograph had, according to the digital timestamp, been taken the night before at 10:51 p.m., when the poster claims to have been asleep. While this seems odd, there was little about the photograph that alluded to the paranormal or otherworldly. Until, that is, another Redditor, Runner1, brightened the image to better perceive what was happening in the darker areas. This revealed what appeared to be a man, who, according to Killer Fishfinger, is not himself, standing in a field, looking up at the source of the two bright lights, a flying mechanical object. Background shapes were found to correspond with tree lines that can be seen from this Redditor's property, suggesting that it occurred outside his home. Reddit users provided a plethora of explanations, such as that he'd been sleepwalking and that the lights were in fact a reflection of the camera's flash in a window through which the photo was taken. None of these explanations, however, account for the individual in the photo, as Killer Fishfinger lived alone, nor can they account for the fact that he had no recollection of taking the picture, thus lending support to claims that this case is nothing less than a bona fide UFO visitation. Mysteriously, this image, as well as Killer Fishfinger's Reddit account, were deleted soon after the post was made, leaving the story unfinished and mystery unsolved. Thank you for watching Dark 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe to continue exploring the greatest mysteries of this world and beyond. And let me know if there are any other creepy corners of the internet that you want me to explore.